It is. Okay, welcome. This is the second edition of the Visitors Mazecast, where we're taking some people who aren't so familiar with maze, and we're going to guide them through the maze, sort of, and just kind of get a feeling of their take on it and how they see the maze. So you all recognize Nellie from last time. Unfortunately, Heather never made it out of the room of darkness, and so this is kind of a somber occasion. That's why you see so many people in black here. These are the mourners. This is kind of her funeral, but I don't think that she's dead. I think she's just camping in a very cold, dark place for a long time. So this is Nellie. Nellie, what are you drinking here?
Green tea.
Green tea. Just straight green? Brand?
As straight as Lipton is.
Uh-huh.
Do you think Lipton's a straight brand?
Well, you could have like green tea with mint or green tea, all sorts of kinds of green tea. So Nellie's drinking green.
I know.
And who is this to your right? Do you want to introduce her?
This is Sarah Abels from SarahAbels.com.
SarahAbels.com for all your needs. Sarah Abels, what kind of tea are you drinking?
Lemon ginger.
Lemon
herbal tea. It's
lemon.
caffeine free.
Nice, nice. All right, so welcome, Sarah. Thanks for coming and being a visitor to the maze. Sarah's never even looked at maze, so this is going to be especially exciting for her. And then to Sarah's right, who is this, Sarah?
This is David. This is my husband.
Newlyweds.
Newlyweds.
But old lovers.
But
It's
old
true.
lovers.
Yeah.
And this is their honeymoon. They're excited to take a trip into the maze.
This
What-
is our honeymoon.
What more exciting way
It is.
thing to do after you're married? And David, do you have a beverage?
I do. It's
Can you hold it up so we can see it?
it's pure leaf tea, raspberry.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah,
What's in it?
brewed tea.
What's not in it?
Raspberries, sugar. There's
Sorry.
some forms of cancer, so
Uh-huh.
this will be a short night for me.
All right. Common maze goer Barry would like that tea, I think. All right. So how this is going to work is I'm going to be kind of the de facto guide, but really all I'm going to be doing is reading out loud, and maybe just if I feel like we need to move on, maybe suggesting that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out loud, and then our visitors here, Nellie, Sarah, and David, are going to discuss which way they would like to go, and then why. That's important. You have to say why, because that's kind of what we're getting after. We want your perspective on the book, as well as why you would choose what you choose, and that's a big part of going through the mazes. Why you're choosing the door you're choosing. All right, are there any questions so far?
Yes, I have one question. What if we imagine something that may or may not be there, but we don't really have any proof at this time of its existence? Can we use that as a reason?
Yeah, as long as you have a reason. It could be whatever reason. There just needs to be some reason. Ideally, you probably want to think of a reason that like someone else could think of too. Like you wouldn't be like, oh, I'm choosing this door because it reminds me of a dog I had when I was in 3rd grade, maybe. But I guess if you really want to do that, that's okay too. I'm not going to say anything about that. So I'll start out by reading the directions. No, I'm not going to read the directions. I'm just going to tell you. The goal of this book is to get to the center of the maze and back out again in as few steps as possible. Okay? There's other goals to the book as well, but we'll stick to that. Maybe just try to get to the center of the maze, which is room 45. Okay, so now I'll read the prologue.
You just told us that.
And well, that's not a secret, I don't think.
I wasn't told that last time.
Oh. Well, it could be room 45, or that could have been a trick. The prologue, the maze. I met them at the gate, though I usually wait inside. Preoccupied with their own thoughts, impatient, like so many children. They didn't see who I really was. They never noticed my crown, my pain, the fire in my eyes. Like all the others who think the maze was made for them, actually, it is the other way around. They think I am some poet who will lead them through the symbols and spaces of this underworld. They think I will teach them lessons. They should call me Cerberus. I am the lesson. Even I get lost. Oh no, I skipped, sorry. The monstrous walls rise up and run away as far as the human eye can see, circling and dividing. Which half is the maze? Even I get lost. It changes, sometimes slowly, imperceptibly, sometimes suddenly. This house is not only made of stone and mortar, wood and paint. It is made of time and mystery, hope and fear. Construction never stops. I take some pride in my role as architect. They think I will guide them to the center. Perhaps I will. The sun was very hot. Together we walked through the gate into, turn the page, the entrance hall of the maze. They looked carefully at the bronze doors, trying to choose. The uncertainty of visitors is one of my little pleasures. It's easy to get lost, I said helpfully. This can be a sinister place. The sun glared at me through the gateway. Something was ringing behind one of the doors. They spent some time trying to decide which door it was, not understanding that the silences of the maze are as eloquent as the sounds. Decisions, decisions, one said. Too many decisions. The story of my life, said another. We don't want to be late, said a third, opening one of the doors. Nary a soul to be seen, said the first, peering into the gloom. I waited patiently for them to choose which way to go into.
I want to go to Fable.
Why?
I like fables.
So, my first inclination was to go to story because of the drum and the inclination that there was maybe ringing behind one of the doors. Maybe that's like the rat-a-tat-tat of the drum.
Is that loud enough?
I think you might need to talk louder.
Sorry.
And I'm going to try not to engage with what you say. So talk to each other, and I'm going to just sit back. But try to speak a little louder, I think.
I had a question I should have asked before. So I've been through part of the maze with Heather. Should I say the things that I or we thought when we were in a room?
You can say what you think as long as you still think it. I mean, I don't think your go through really, you really know whether or not you went the right way or not. So I think it's valid to kind of go with that. But maybe in some of these rooms that you've already been in, kind of give some deference to Sarah and David.
Right.
For their.
And it's true. I mean, I don't
As
even
usual.
know if we went the right way.
Yeah.
And obviously we didn't. Ultimately.
Right. Ultimately.
The silences are as eloquent as the sounds. So something that also could be very quiet. Is that why you thought of fable? Because
I thought of
the
fable
sound,
because I like the word. And I just wanted something that was like really drew me. And I think fables are better than stories, tales, and yarns. It sounds more classy. So that's my vote. I like to keep it classy.
No.
But so at what point should we decide just to do it?
Well, you should kind of come to some consensus as a group. So, Sarah, David so far is talking about going to Fable because it sounds more classy. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah.
And Sarah was saying 20 because the drum rings out. Or is that right? Is that kind of what you were saying?
Basically, that was my first impression. But then I read again that the silences of the maze are as eloquent as the sounds. So I thought of something that was very silent, and I was thinking of like tea drinking. Like there's something very, I don't know how subtle this is or how overt, like when you look at this page, how do you?
It's funny, the first time, Sarah, we didn't talk much about the ringing, and so that's a really nice starting place.
Can we split up?
No, I was going to actually mention that because I thought you would suggest that. You can't split up. You got to go as a
Singing
group.
bowl.
Yeah.
Maybe we could use that to create a sound like the Tibetan singing bowl.
Mm.
Or maybe someone has done that
Yeah, and
and it's still ringing.
Maybe it's the spoon hitting the edge of the...
Yeah. Or maybe that's a Tibetan singing bowl and not a drum.
It's true.
Huh.
Could be.
It's got 2 pestles.
So you two want to do 20.
No, not necessarily.
I mean, we can do that by majority. Just
Do we see anything down here in all these scrolls?
I was wondering about that. I mean, there's one scroll that is behind door 21. That's leading to door 21.
Mhm.
A lot of these scrolls, those say things like foolish and stupid. So that I think is a detractor.
That one has got like no way out. There's like no lines coming out. I don't know.
Well, and then it's something with the numbers. It goes 20, 21, 26, 41.
Oh,
41, you know, is close to 45, closer to 45, but not we were necessarily like we don't want to start like that close to, or maybe that's misleading. You know,
Well,
like where is
Yeah,
it
I don't
starting?
think that matters. I think you're
Okay.
traversing across a range of numbers, but I don't know that for sure.
you know, all these numbers are below 42. That's
Yeah.
another
It's true.
issue we'll have to consider.
True.
Well, I'm cool with Fable, but unless you all, you know, make me feel inferior about it.
I will defer to
To my strengths.
if you will.
So David's saying Fable because Fable is classier, and you're saying Fable because David thinks it's classier?
No. I thought that Nellie brought up a good point that the ringing could have something to do with the teacup. And so, some kind of a homage to the singing bowl that they so lovingly got us for our wedding gift. Well, I don't know that there was love involved, but it was
Not
very nice.
inappropriate love, I'll say that.
It's not.
Yeah. It was appropriate love. Okay, so Nellie, are you fine with going into 26?
Or you.
Or are you stringent? A different
Yeah,
way?
I'm okay with 26. 26.
Are there any two specifically that you can eliminate? That you don't think would be...
So people aren't. What's their...
Yeah. I don't know. This kind of looks like a Buddha right here. At the top of the easel. It kind of looks like a Buddha. And over here, I keep thinking I want to read the word Zen. And that cup keeps making me think of a bowl of rice. And so...
I think
It's all connected.
I think we're
all agreeing on 26.
Yeah.
All right.
There we go.
All right.
Here we go.
And different interesting reasons. I appreciated that. That was good. All right, room 26. So while you're turning, I will start reading. A dramatic room with 4 entrances and exits. Not enough light in here, they remarked. Not very tidy either. Which way now, children? I asked in my most patronizing voice. They objected to my tone, but it distracted them from the real clues. The game usually goes as I plan it, despite the intentions of my visitors, or perhaps because of their intentions. What the devil is this supposed to be? One asked. They gathered around, and I realized they were close to something. I quickly picked up the bell, ringing it loudly. Was this what you heard outside? Holding their ears, they ran out the door to...
I'm gonna get a 1. Feels back to basics, you know. Yeah. Well, then,
You see that big moon?
I think what I'm thinking is that, see, these devils are coming up, right? And so the one that's fully up is 38. He's on 38, or she or they. And I think that that means that the danger in 38 is very obvious. It's like it's not trying to fool us, it's not trying to be a jerk about it. It's like, hey, I'm going to kill you. And I like that honesty. I want 38 based off of...
You want to go there?
Well, we know what we're getting into, right?
So the thing about the salt over there, you're almost like you're like a slug or something.
And we
like
saw a slug outside.
But there's almost something about like this could be going. Like he's up, he's going down, this one's going fully down, and that's like when it's safe to like get past it into one of these doors.
Yeah, but there's danger. It's just not obvious. So
for those of you watching, Sarah was pointing to the doors on the left of the page where the trapdoor is closing. So she was thinking 30 or 36.
Or opening.
Yeah, I mean.
Or opening, yeah.
Yeah.
And David was thinking 38 because the danger has revealed itself.
Yeah.
But not 1. You initially said 1.
Well, everyone thought I was foolish for that, so I switched it to 38.
It kind of looks blocked, honestly, if you were to try to open it inward, that trapdoor.
Yeah,
Would not let you.
it's deterring you. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. And this door looks blocked too, and that door looks blocked.
So 30 actually looks like it may be accessible.
Yeah. Now, it doesn't, it kind of lacks clues though. I don't know. I'm trying to remember what we did last time.
Following me.
See, I can't lead us down the same path either.
You can say what you think.
I think we went through 30 last time. We came to this room last time, but for different reasons. But I think we came to the right room because of that bell that's there. But I feel like we went through 30 last time. And maybe that was fine, because we went through several rooms. But maybe it wasn't.
Well, I say 38 unless you all force me another
38.
I would say about your last time experience, Nellie, I would try not to let that persuade you either way.
Mm-hmm. Right, okay. How are we going to get through there? Like, it just looks so hard. Like, how would you get past that devil?
I don't think
Is
so.
that door going to open?
I think so. I think the devil would want us to come through. Because it's dangerous. We have to be brave.
If the devils were leading us somewhere, look at his tail. It's pointing to 36.
Can you say that a bit louder?
That devil's tail is pointing to 36.
Well, that one's pointing to 30.
I know. It's true.
But I don't.
Well, you don't want to.
Yeah.
You don't want something where the devil's actually pointing you towards. That's not pointing. That's warning.
Sorry. Alright, so far it sounds like David's still going for 38. Sarah and Nellie are considering the pointing aspect. Maybe something else.
I don't know if the light Real clues.
Ellie's going over the text.
Real clues.
Shh.
He's looking over here.
Talking about the patrons sitting out in the audience looking.
I feel like they're looking back at us.
They're shushing us.
Their eyes are directed towards us, the viewer of this scene.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
I feel like
they're trying to watch the play.
yeah.
We're all like drunk coming in here. Oh, let's go to the bar.
Close to something.
No.
If you were frightened by a ringing bell that you had to go through one of these doors, there's this natural inclination to go through the path that seems the least obstructed.
Yeah.
But that, I don't know how that's too obvious, and that there are actual clues we can know about.
Right. This is curious. Is that another devil?
It's a horn, yeah. It looks like a horn in a devil's hand.
What the
It could just be drawn.
What the
is this supposed to be? Maybe we want to know what that is, because we don't know exactly. We think it's a devil, but it might not be a devil. What the devil? It's not a devil.
Sure.
Nellie's referring to the leftermost trap door on the page.
Well, I'm not convinced yet. 38 isn't the best option.
If we were right there, and we were like, what the devil is this supposed to be? And then it was like, hey, what about this bell?
To distract us from.
And then they're like, we just go right out that door.
Maybe it does open inward.
Yeah. So one thing, like back on that page we were on before, some of the doors looked obstructed. I doubt if this book would always have it that obstructions mean don't go through there. I mean, that would be such a powerful, eliminator that I think my mind wants to think that way, but I doubt if it's actually so. Because here it would just be too obvious. And then we would apply that logic in the next room and it would work, probably.
So he's closer to the.
They're conspiring about the
And he's
leftermost
pointing
patron.
towards 36. This is a distraction that he's telling us
Mm-hmm.
that it's 36.
It is a distraction.
This is all like, hey,
It's wearing
what's
a
happening
fez.
here? But this feels like.
So Sarah is proposing that the devil in front of 38 is a distraction, and the devil that's hanging up is pointing at 36, and that's a quieter space, right? Is that what you're thinking? So that's the way to go?
Yes.
Hmm.
Finally.
Okay. So David's saying 38 still, for his original reasoning, I think. Sarah's saying 36. Nellie, what do you think?
Either tiebreaker, or you pick 30.
Or do your own thing.
Or if you go with one, I'll back up too. I'm looking
I
at
kind of want to go for 36. 30 is so too obvious. 38 is also like too obvious.
So you're going 36?
And I don't know about one. Just can't really find any clues for one per se.
So let's do 36 then. Screw it. Let's do it.
All right, 36.
I'll lick my fingers and put them all over this book now.
An old and ruinous part of the house. Turning the corner, the music we had been hearing became louder, and at last we saw the musicians themselves. They were so involved they failed to hear us. The music was suited to the scene, a moody, romantic melody. We stopped to listen, and I admit that I, too, was affected by the sound, as well as by the spectacle of the masked players. One of the visitors noticed me listening. "Beautiful music, don't you think?" "It's not bad," I said stiffly. "The viol brings the right sense of warmth to the piece, but the guitarist is overplaying his part. Still, he adds a certain plangent brio to an otherwise introspective composition." Unwilling to interrupt the concert, we slipped past the musicians into the door to...
I say 16. No, I want to challenge them. You know,
You want to challenge who? Oh, the
the
musicians?
musicians. They're acting like they own that spot.
See, that doesn't feel past them. That feels between them to me. Between and past.
It depends on how you walked. I guess you walked into them.
Although there is like a staircase that looks like it's leading up to a dark. I don't know. I always feel like you creep along a dark passageway. But yeah, I mean that language of the past. Harmony and tragedy. An old and ruinous part of the house. This part of the house is more just it's falling down. That might lead more towards the falling.
But there's only two
Falling
numbers
down.
here, though, right?
Yeah, there are. I just noticed that.
So in case you didn't hear, Sarah was saying that the 16 door is old and ruinous. There's more towards the old and ruinous, and there's a dark staircase that she can kind of make out, that she can see them creeping up. So does that make you inclined to go that way, Sarah, or disinclined?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to want the text again.
Okay. Sarah's examining the text. Nellie.
It's a moody, romantic melody. Maybe that would put us in the mood to go up that dark staircase.
Well, there's something romantic about going up towards, what is there, a parapet up there? I mean, is there like, you know, a lookout, like some scene of, you know.
Lots of ivy.
Yeah.
Torture.
Sounds like everyone's leaning towards 16.
Yeah.
You did say 16.
You all
Yeah,
said 16.
I began it.
Let's go with David.
Let's just, David.
Follow
Yeah,
us, David's
we've been safe so far.
hunch.
And we followed one of my suggestions.
Okay, so we'll go the romantic path of David to 16. A stone chamber, which reminded me of my old neighbors. Of course, that was a long time ago now, but would you believe their descendants are still telling stories about me and my family to their children? Even if most of the stories are lies and exaggerations, it is immortality of a sort. As I passed in front of an open doorway, a figure crossing the hall outside saw me and immediately ran off. "Who is that?" they asked. "Another visitor, to be sure." "Why did he run away?" "You probably scared him," I said, and they apparently believed me. With few regrets on my part, we left for...
We already went into room 36. And in the last room we were in, there was 7. I mean, if we go back there, what?
We're in a paradox.
We don't want to get in a trap.
This is like arguing with an RA.
We gotta go in 7.
And like that could have scared him. He could have dropped his crown on the.
Oh, I'm so scared.
We have a choice. Well, yes, we do. But I mean, I don't know. Let's do 7. I want to do it.
I mean, I just.
That's the number
Already.
for God, so we're gonna be safe.
Well, then, Nellie, you identified that in 36, you can either go back here or go to 7.
We gotta go in 7. We just gotta hope it doesn't lead us.
There's no hope.
We don't know what 7 has.
We know.
We don't know what page 7
No,
is.
it's good.
All right.
Do it.
Let's move on to 7.
Did you ever Did you ever cross your path?
Oh, we're so safe. Look at
Kind
that.
of.
7 is a...
We just didn't get stuck in a closed loop. We just got stuck in a dark place. Heather's still there.
Yeah. A pleasant room with 3 doors and a lamp. Looking at the picture on the wall, they decided it wasn't a very good likeness. One of them almost fell over something on the floor. "Why don't they pick up after themselves?" he said, sounding like an old man. "Why don't they pick up after themselves?" he said, sounding like an old man. "Weren't you ever irresponsible?" I asked, thinking of my childhood and how wild I had been. Music was being played somewhere nearby. We stopped to listen for a moment. Leaving the pictures looking out at an empty room, we went on to...
We've been
Yeah.
at 36 and we've
I
been
know.
at 16.
So 33.
We gotta go in 33. I wonder if there's any reason why we should stay in any of these rooms, though.
And not just not
I
leave.
mean, no, I mean, just like spend some time there.
It's just-
Look at
There are a
photos.
lot of pictures.
There are a lot of pictures.
But
Although they all
Looking
they're all
at the
like-
picture on the wall, I mean, there's so many pictures.
they're all the
right?
same style.
there's a
Probably the
There's-
same artist.
horns mirror.
Horns mirror. It's like a reflection of yourself. You're like this winged beast.
Yeah.
There is one. Actually, there's one painting that is not like the others, and it's at 33.
The one like
Yeah.
Easter Island face with hair.
Yeah. We gotta go there.
It's like
I like
33.
this.
Do they ever pick up after themselves?
the scat.
The room with no floor. They crowded each other on the narrow ledge. The bold one ventured out to the center. Realizing that they could see all of the signs only from the center of the room, several wanted to turn back. With exaggerated caution considering their predicament, they finally reached the door they wanted and eventually found themselves in...
What we have?
Well, we've been to 7, right?
Right.
7.
Not been to 3 or 35.
Let's go to drum.
It is a door and it has.
Go to
Yeah.
page drum.
You can go to eyes.
I
So
like
what
this
are these
one a lot.
images? Images associated with
I'm going to share with her. I'll just hold this. So what are you seeing as you look at this, Sarah? Can you say it a little bit louder? Just kind of think out loud.
I was just looking at some of the objects that were near some of the doors.
Well, you can list them off, or just because you were kind of whispering to yourself. But if you just said that louder, then Vincent would
I
appreciate
noticed
it.
the violin or viola that was near 35, as well as some of the placards above the doors, and like the things that we've seen before in some of the rooms, like the crown.
Well, here's one thing we could do. We've been in 7, right? So we could look at the symbols and all the clues that are around 7, and then go back to 7 and see if that had any connection to the room itself. I don't know if I see much, really. There's a dagger or a knife and a crown by 7. You go back to 7, and it's just a bunch of paintings. I don't necessarily see any kings. I don't really know. I guess the duck could be a jester, maybe? But I don't know. I'm not really seeing that there's a lot of clues that led me to 7 from these, having been there.
That violin makes me think of those musicians, and those musicians kind of seemed a little bit sad.
One was comedy and one was tragedy.
Unless all these clues fit together in some ultimate clue thing. Maybe it's not so superficial as I once first thought.
I think this horn looks like an auspicious sign. Like just a new day and
Let's go back. Let's go to 3.
breakthrough.
Let's go to 3.
Yeah, I'd say 3.
Because of the horn? Or do you have any other reasons?
It's a small number.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to go back to a small number.
It looked like maybe
Oops.
coins or something, although I don't know that.
They're examining the
It's
placards next to 3.
A compact? Present yourself. And then present yourself.
What's the compact?
Oh, we don't know.
That's like a Green Lantern.
Oh! It could be a thread, like a spool. Like a
Mhm.
thread.
Yeah. Totes.
Bobbin.
A bobbin.
Mm-hmm.
A nipple ring. It could be anything.
Yeah.
Boring. A large. I see.
Why do you think 3, Sarah? I got David
Because
and Alex reading.
I don't. We've been to 7, 35 with that viola, violin here. It just. Maybe the trumpet's more auspicious. She says it's.
Room 3, an entirely different kind of place.
There's 3 of
The
us.
group complained of feeling all turned around, as well they might. Because no one wanted to stay here very long, they missed the real sign while looking through the obvious. People in their situation, confronted with a challenge, tend to accept the terms of the challenge as a given, without examining it from all sides. How many sides does that problem have? They don't know. We passed down a long flight of stairs, through some sort of pantry, and on into...
I say 9. Because it's like, that could be like Trent Reznor's email.
That reminds the stick figure on the wall reminds me of the man creeping past that doorway.
Enan.
Can't remember him. I'm afraid of 9, actually. I think the end is at 9. We came through 3, and that's 3, and then this just looks like the end, like death.
So there's 33, which has the moon, and 18, which has the sun. And the sun, this way, stop.
There's
Are
a
you saying
heater.
stop? Because you're like,
words,
oh.
I am the tune playing.
What is your sign?
Some say he did kill industrial music. So.
The diamonds?
Sign. This is a rich room. Wow.
He began it, my friend.
This way.
Was the industry.
I would say 9.
All
Oh, and
sides,
9.
so examining it from all sides.
So David says 9 because of Trent Reznor,
Up, down.
right? That's your reason?
Yeah, it reminds me of 9. It's like an electric. It's like futuristic electric 9 Inch Nails.
And does it change your mind if you knew that the book was written before 9 Inch Nails?
That makes it even more prescient.
Okay.
So we passed down a long flight of stairs through some sort of pantry and on into. So pantry, pans.
Sarah's associating the word pantry with the pans that are in the,
Well,
in
yeah.
the page. I'm just saying it out loud so that people know what you're doing. It has nothing to do with, you say whatever you're talking about. I'm going to try to narrate so that they can hear. So don't let that change how you're thinking, please, if possible. Before that, they were thinking about sun and moon or something. I missed some of their other thoughts as we were talking about music,
Pardon me.
the music industry. Nellie sneezed.
And I kind of need a tissue.
She's going to get a tissue.
So what are you thinking?
Well, it says because no one wanted to stay here very long, they missed the real sign. So what's our real sign? This one is
Something
like
not
pointing at that,
obvious.
being like this way. This one's like stop. But this one is what is
I
your
do.
sign? What is your sign?
I think you're reading that backwards.
things.
So where are we going?
backwards. I've kind
What is
Sarah
that?
is leaning
33.
towards
of.
33.
So okay, because this is pointing this way, but everything's backwards, I feel like it's pointing towards this door, which is 33.
Don't look at me.
I'm looking at
Oh.
Della.
If it's backwards,
Yeah.
then we should totally go to Nine Inch Nails because that says stop, as in like don't go here. But if it's backwards, then you're supposed to, of course, go there.
But that one's pointing this way and saying this way, so I want to go that
No,
way.
see this way. If it's backwards, you're not supposed to go.
I know,
this
that's
way.
why I said I wanted to go 33, because it's flipped.
But there's a
That's
pot-
true, I mean, there's a...
pot sign. So there's a stop sign, and
Pots
everything's
and then
reversed.
Pots.
Don't go there.
Pots and pots.
So we're supposed to go there. We totally have to go there.
I like the pots. The pots handles are pointing toward 9, and they're well, like 1 could be here, but it's really mostly to 9. And the pots, that's a good one.
Let's go
That's
Yeah.
true.
We're going to 9.
And not because of Nine Inch Nails.
Because
Well,
of pots.
I'm scared, I will
That's
just say, but
The real
I
reason.
What appeared to be an
Oh
old
my God.
storeroom. Dust obscured a damaged painting, making it hard to understand just what the artist had intended.
this is scary.
This could be a trick of some sort, one said. We might be going around in circles. I don't think so, said the thoughtful one. I think we're supposed to think it's a trick. That's the trick. They all looked at me. Yes, I said, I'm sure you're right about that. With doubtful looks, they left for...
I guess 18.
And we've been to 3.
Wow.
We're about to solve this, guys.
But what if we had this chance to turn back? I mean, an angel, death. Angels,
Angels always bring good cheer.
do they? This could be bad. Maybe we should turn back.
I just think it means we're at the end. We've got this.
Well, on 3, there may have only been one other option, which we also we'd have to totally backtrack through. No?
What? Three was where we was 3 where we were
Yes.
Yeah.
just now.
Yep.
I mean, I will go forward, but I just think maybe we need to think for a moment that possibly the next step is
Darkness.
The most useless thing is that which is behind me. That's a really chopped up Magnolia quote. Tom
The
Cruise
most-
said that. FYI. So
the most useless thing.
yeah. What did I say? Is that what I said?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Blind mice.
Picture of this.
3 blind mice. We're 3 blind mice.
See how they run.
Yeah. See, 3 is blind. People that don't know where they're going go to 3.
Maybe.
So let's go to. I say 18. And look, there's like an apple, or like a
It's an apple.
Yeah, it could be an apple.
a sphere with a
Which
fly.
there
on it.
was an apple on that one doorway in the very beginning.
Yeah,
which
see?
we didn't go to.
Yeah, that could be an apple.
that's where we
not
should've
a
gone
cute
in the
bunny,
beginning.
and it's an apple of death. But let's
Poison
go.
apple.
I don't know.
Let's do this.
18, can you say why? Because of an apple? Or,
Because of the 3 blind mice that we don't want to go back.
okay, you don't want to go back. Okay.
There's 3 again.
A much warmer room. Shadows danced across the floor to the fire's music. Someone's lost his hat. Are you sure it's the hat that is lost? I asked reasonably enough. No one would answer me. Ducking behind a curtain and hurrying down a passageway, we came out in
13. The luckiest number.
We've come this far. I love bowling.
I love 13.
Yeah.
So why 13? Because you love bowling?
Well, there's that hat. False chart. Music. Does anyone know what these music symbols mean?
That's what, bass, right? And that's. Oh, what's that, clef? God, it's been so long. Clef note? Wow,
Bass clef.
I fail. I'm no longer a tromboner.
Definitely behind.
What do you see, Nellie? Nellie's looking at the. She's pointing at the 13 door. Now she's turning the book around.
See, I don't know about these clues.
What about the shadow?
Because if you go to 3, look back at 3, and it's like, how does that clue match up with this room?
I think the only other option would be 33.
My point is, how does that clue match
I
up
don't.
with this?
It may not
Yeah.
have a clue. It's just I just was.
Yeah, that's what I would do. If I made this book, I would
Shadow.
have all these supposed clues and they mean nothing and it's just random. That's what I would do. But I do a lot of bad things, like bad ideas, so I say 13.
I think we already avoided 3 months. I mean, we'll just do it again. I don't know.
You think that's a sign to like giving you like that last chance to not die?
No, I felt differently in the last one. I feel like we've already like.
Pushed our luck.
Made your mind up?
Yeah, I mean, look at my will. Look what happened to my will. My will to go back. It's already been lessened substantially, such that I'm ready to enter this another dark room and leave this room of warmth. Like, don't they say right before you die, you might like get warm and cozy?
Remember the Passion of the Little Match Girl?
Yeah, passionate little match girl.
Was it the movie quote that changed your mind, that made you Magnolia quote?
No, it was because in the last room I said we should maybe go back, and now we're here and it's all warm and cozy.
There's
Because of the
something-
Magnolia quote? Yes, Sarah?
Well, I was just saying. I mean, a curtain drawn aside is much more inviting than a curtain drawn across. For me, there's a fear factor here, whereas this is a little bit more inviting. Like, it still might be warm there.
Traps are always
There's
more
a
inviting.
little bit more. Well, yeah, but you
I
want
want
to
to
go
go
to
there.
13,
Yeah,
so
I want to spring the trap.
you're a bad rogue.
Room number 13. They weren't really comfortable here, and I knew why. No, they said, we're not all superstitious. Only some of you, then? They were worried it might be Friday. Well, it's true that it was closer to the end of the week than they realized. It takes a great deal of experience, certainly more than they possessed, to understand how time works in the maze. The clock thought it was 6 in the evening. Quickly moving on, we came to...
It is Friday, by
Wow.
the way. BT dubs.
A whole bunch of fresh numbers for us.
Yes. 27, 25.
Clock. It says it's 6 o'clock. 18 is divisible by 6. We shouldn't go at 18.
Well, 13,
I don't know. It's all now blurred. We've
I
been
think
so many
18
places.
was the falling down castle with the stations. I think so.
I can't remember. For some reason, right when we came in this room, I thought we were looking at fresh numbers.
Okay.
You might be right.
Yeah. The skeletons. Is this clock moving or is it stopped? In this thing, they are like they're orchestrating. What time is it? Well, it's whatever time we want to make it. So we just turn the lamp.
Oh, yeah.
We cast a shadow towards.
So in case you didn't catch that, Sarah is musing that you could actually change what time it is based on where you put the lamp that's in the room.
Assuming that's a sundial.
Straight.
Just be really crappy minimal.
Someone just left a wood lathe sitting on a table.
When they were working, see, that's what I like there. No, I say 18.
It's been 18.
We did?
I feel like we've been to 18.
I can't remember. I don't think so.
See, neither of us are remember 18,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
we might have.
I think we should go there to see if you're wrong.
We can go there.
That's what I say.
Should we think a little more though before we go?
Oh.
I thought you both were in 18.
I don't know. Like sand.
Nellie's noticing that there's an hourglass depicted above the sign that says millennium, century, decade, year, month, week, day, hour, minute. Sarah's trying to figure out what time the sundial would be showing if the light were turned on.
Versus the clock, which is at 6.
David's got a little cough. Maybe he should drink some of his tea.
Or maybe he should just cough it out.
Yeah. I'm just coughing it out. Smacking my gum. Nice and irritating for people listening.
We're not superstitious. We're not superstitious. We're not all superstitious.
Only some of you then?
We're not all superstitious.
Only
So someone might think
someone that's not
superstitious by
self-aware.
seeing skeleton clock might be scary, but if you're saying we're not all superstitious, then
Only
what's scary? That's just silly.
I'm set with 18, but you all need to say something.
I feel like we've been to 18, but I'm fine with going back because we could always.
I want to go to 18 to prove you wrong.
Okay.
Kind of what
So he wants to prove
Nellie,
me wrong.
do you want to go to 18 to try to prove Sarah wrong? Or, do you want to do something else? Nellie's
Swing
counting.
towards the right.
I'm blazing through this gum.
Is that juicy fruit?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's juicy
he does
fruit.
that.
Mind if I bum a slice of that juicy fruit?
Do it.
Thanks.
The 3 rooms multiplied by 6. What would you call these? Towers. That's 18. 3 times 6. Last I checked was 18. Equals 18.
You can go to 18. I'm happy to be wrong.
That's
Well,
good.
I'm trying to find reasons for 18. I think for some reason, if I wasn't superstitious, I would probably go into 27.
Why is that?
It just feels really odd.
So if you weren't superstitious, you would go wherever you felt odd? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, David wants to go through to 18, so I was trying to think about some reasons to go through to 18.
You go by what was your favorite year you were alive.
Everything kind of looks sort of symmetrical. Symmetrical things here. Where did you want to go, Sarah?
I really figured that out. I was kind of obsessed with this time notion in here because we've got, the hourglass sundial and the clock.
And a lot of those have to do with time.
Yeah. The clock's pendulum is swung to the right.
Mm.
And that doesn't mean that it's in motion. It could be at rest there.
But
If
the
I
director's
wasn't-
chair,
Yeah.
the director decides when things go and they don't
When they
go.
stop and when they go. That's true.
Yeah.
You're right. The light looks. The light appears to be off now. It's not casting time. So are we going to go by this time? If I was not superstitious, if I was superstitious, I may not want to go towards 25 because it's like pointing towards
These
that.
these obelisks
It's
are
only
holding up
arms.
these spheres.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
So Sarah was pointing out that the pendulum is pointing towards 25, and David's pointing out that the obelisks are holding up some spheres.
Yeah.
And here's a seventh one.
Right.
That's true.
And that's a
another obelisk.
7.
Oh, snap.
Oh,
Oh,
Nellie
Nellie.
found an obelisk with a sphere shape in the
27.
director's cone.
Yeah.
And so she's seeing a 7 there.
And
But a
two
2
of
and a
us
5
two of
equals
us
7.
saw the obelisks.
And 2 of them saw the
2,
obelisk. So there's
7.
2 and a
I
7.
know.
Yeah.
And 2 and 5 equals 7, and 8 minus 1 equals 7, though, too.
Well,
Then
Darn it.
I still want to prove Sarah wrong, so I'm going to say 18.
I
Okay, Nellie's saying 27. What do you say, Sarah?
Well, I
Yeah.
don't know. I just,
You want to be proven
I mean,
wrong, or
this
you
is
You
want
came up with a
7.
reason.
You want to go?
We don't
I
have
think
logic.
Nellie has a good reason for choosing 27.
Mine's good too.
All proving me wrong. Well, that's not hard to do. So
We'll see.
I feel like you're trying to start something there.
So, Sarah, which one is it?
You're a tiebreaker.
If you pick 27, then that's kind of like saying that David's right.
Yeah.
If you pick 18, it's saying that you want to fight with him.
And I'll be right.
I don't want to fight. I want to solve the maze.
I want to live. I mean, I don't want to die in the maze.
Do we have a good reason for going to 18 other than that David wants to know that we hadn't been there before?
Well, David pointed out that the director's cone points to 18.
Yeah, and if it was 6 o'clock, maybe that's straight up 6 o'clock.
6, 12, 18. Yeah.
I mean, there are some reasons maybe that we could come up with. Hey, look, there's another little obelisk. Is that what you call it?
I call it obelisk.
There's another one up there. That's 8.
Nellie found an 8th obelisk.
Yeah, 18.
David uses that to support his 18 argument.
Yeah. And she's the only one that saw that.
I don't care.
That's solid.
I really don't care. I don't feel like you need me right now.
No, we do need you, Sarah.
I don't think so.
I've always needed you.
Where's your heart, Sarah?
That's right, follow your heart.
Like,
Your
if you were
robot heart.
walking and there's like, you had to get out of there real fast, where would you go?
Follow your heart, you'll find the answer. In your heart, you'll
I
find
wouldn't want to
the
step
truth.
over that cord, personally.
Follow your
Yeah, probably go
heart,
around here to either 18
you
or
won't
27.
get cancer, but the cancer might get you
Well,
if you follow your heart.
You're the tiebreaker, right? Yeah, you are.
Well, I think Nellie was rethinking her position too,
Oh, okay.
so there might not be a tie. I don't know. Everything kind of went up in the air.
no, we're not all superstitious.
Only some of you then?
There is no time in the maze.
So ignore the clock. Ignore
Ignore
these indicators of time.
Ignore everything and just get out. You don't want to step over that cord, go through 27. Gone.
So now it sounds like you're still going for 27. You have a couple of reasons. David, you're still going for 18?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
solid on that. So
Sarah, I'm going to have to ask you to decide.
yeah,
Look, there's another one over there.
you're the most important person here right now.
That would be 9.
Do it. No pressure.
They put that up there. Why wouldn't it just be flat on the top?
Nellie is looking at the hourglass and seeing an obelisk in the hourglass.
Well, it's kind of weird, because why would you have that on top? Just that.
She's seeing a little
Well,
knob.
you're gonna say 25, aren't you? You're just gonna see what happens.
No, that would not make a tiebreaker. That would make another.
But if you think
Then
25,
You'd be the tie maker.
you can go that way and just try to convince people, just talk about it.
Yeah.
I feel like this is clearly reminiscent of these obelisks, but I feel like these may not be.
Right, right.
So Sarah
Right.
thinks the
I'm-
director's
I'm
cone
actually
looks like
agreeing
the
with you.
obelisk.
I've been feeling that too.
But the other obelisks Nellie has seen are hogwash, is what Sarah's saying, and Nellie agrees with that.
That felt like more of like that looks like those.
Straining
That looks like a little
credulity.
stretch.
Really.
So if we're going off of that, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one, 14.
It's only pointing that way though because it was drawn that way. It's not actually. If you go by that perspective.
How do we escape time here?
Ooh, that's a question.
Which door lets us escape these time?
I don't know if you can escape time,
Our visitors are wondering about how they can escape time.
Do you have an answer?
I have no answers.
Well,
You are a terrible god.
sometimes.
Or actually.
Hmm. This is really a hard place for
This is
us.
a hard place.
This is so hard.
I think we should choose.
Okay.
Okay, Sarah, what is it going to be?
I have 27. I don't know.
Okay,
Alright.
27.
I don't know.
There is no knowing, there's just going. Alright.
Not all
Is that the-
superstitious.
Is that the wrong? Oh, no.
A darkened chamber dominated by a large figure. We could see that someone had been working here recently. The entrance I had so carefully hidden had been uncovered. I made a note to return as soon as I could and fill in the hole again.
Whoa.
The visitors were so intrigued with the entrance at the bottom of the excavation that they ignored what the figure was trying to tell them. Where are the workmen? They must be ahead of us, I said. If we hurry, we can catch them. I mean, catch up with them. I herded the group through the door to...
I say 9, because we'd been to 13.
Did we do 9 last time? Was,
Oh, I don't remember.
did we not? In that weird room with the...
I don't know. Well, then we've been to both. I just remember we've been to 13.
Remember how we wanted to go in 9? You wanted
That's
to go in
right,
9.
9 Inch Nails. So we have been to 9.
We've been
Now
to
we're in a
both.
loop.
So where can we go back safely? Which one was 13?
That was the room you just left.
So I say go back to 13 then, because we have been through
18.
9.
Okay.
13, I'm not going to read it again. So
Okay.
you want to go to 18 or 25?
Let's go. We were a toss up between 27 and 28 or 18. Why
Yeah,
don't
we
go
just
to
were at 18. Okay, so 18.
Are you guys good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, 18 takes us back to the
Oh,
fire. Sarah was right. They
Well
had
played.
been to 18.
Well played, lady.
Ah!
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to 13.
Man.
Okay, back to 13 again. That's the
Deflated.
This
Should
room
we-
with the
should we go
cry.
to
I
25?
am thoroughly deflated now.
We're not super
25, process of elimination, they went to 25. A high room with the image of a crown on the wall for everyone to see now. Though one of my parents might be low born, the other was close to a king. I've always felt at home here. Which door ought we take? They wanted to know. I rather brusquely indicated the 3 doors. Any of these is fine for my purposes. They were disconcerted at the apparent lack of clues. Perhaps in another room, they said, leaving for.
I see 34. So we haven't been there yet. Well, I guess we haven't been 30.
Did you, when you looked up here, did you ever think that it almost looks like he's like dead here?
No, I think that
scared, or
yeah,
it's
he's
like
either, well, so whether you go to dead or
sleeping.
scared.
Right, but scared would be better than dead.
Is this dark though? Is this going to be
Is
a
it?
dark place?
So they're looking at opposite ends of the films
Yeah, it
or
could
the
be
spectrum
bad.
on there. Nellie's saying this